It's a me, Zach, with the A Minors podcast featuring Ellie, but no one cares about
Ellie,
him, so that's why I
what
or
am I, a
Eli, whatever you want.
mushroom?
That is yes, because we were talking about Mario today.
Oh yeah.
So
We are
that's what's
ranking
happening.
all the Mario games. All the mainline
No,
Mario
no,
games.
not all. No, that's not true
All
either.
the
All
mainline
the
Mario
no,
games. All the mainline
yeah,
Mario games.
all the mainline console Mario games.
All the good ones. Oh,
No, no handhelds.
handhelds because
Um,
bad.
yeah, because who cares about the freaking handheld titles? Am I right?
That's
Anyway,
what
welcome
I'm
to another
saying.
episode of the A Minors podcast featuring your boy Zach and your boy Eli,
Isn't the
Ellie,
Switch a
whatever
handheld?
you want to call him. It's a hybrid.
Oh wow. Okay.
Anyway, we're getting off topic, not really because games, but
Yep.
Anyway, today we're going to be ranking the mainline console Mario games.
Yep.
It's going to be so cool.
So cool. We're gonna be ranking all
It's
these
going to be the coolest
games.
thing you've ever seen.
Oh yeah. Nothing more cool than this. And you don't have to
Nope.
really agree with our tier list. This is pretty much just an opportunity for us to talk about all these amazing games, or not amazing games.
At the very least, good games.
Well, I mean, we are talking about
Or at
Odyssey
least
here,
entertaining.
so yeah.
Shut the frick up.
What
How
the
dare you?
freak?
What the freak?
Yeah. If you guys
So
haven't
yeah,
seen that video, watch it. It's
it's
Zach
it's definitely
basically.
me. It's me. It's not. It's me. So
Yep.
I'm a meme king, as they say nowadays, or something like that.
Oh yeah. Well, I guess, and if we have more time, we're gonna talk about some other stuff, but you're gonna have to
Yes,
watch
but
and
we
find
will.
out. The
And if we don't
surprise,
end up talking about that stuff, you'll never know what we were going to talk about because we'll never talk about it ever again.
because this could be our last podcast.
Yeah, this is our last podcast actually.
Yep.
Just kidding. It's not. I mean, it
Goodbye,
might
A
end.
minors.
If like yeah no if like the world ends tomorrow, it will be. But other than that,
Yeah.
we might take a month long break like we usually do. But I don't think that'll
Yeah.
be the last one.
Mainly Zach's fault. He's a slow editor.
I am a slow editor, but you know what? If you weren't stupid, then maybe it wouldn't be a problem.
If any of you editors are listening to this podcast, and you want to
We
edit
will
our
pay you
podcast for
one
free,
penny per podcast. Yeah.
and it's gonna be Zach paying you that, not
Well,
me.
what the? Why? You are the one who gets $1 million a month,
Yeah. Well, I'm
and I'm
saving that.
not. I'm not under workers' comp anymore.
Well, you could be if you lied about getting hurt again.
Again.
Yep. Again. Yeah. Well, let's get into ranking these games.
Yes. So for whatever reason, this tier list decided to have an E tier instead of an F tier. So we have E, D, C, B, A, S.
Yes. It
I don't
makes
know
no sense
why,
that they're following the alphabet,
but
but whatever.
no. Why would S be on top? If they were following the alphabet, then S would be like one of the worst tiers.
That's literally the alphabet.
Yeah. S, A, B, C's.
Lameno. All right.
Wow.
Let's start with
We'll
Zach.
start. We'll
What
start
do
with
you
E
have for
tier.
each?
I have the original Super Mario Bros.
Same.
On the NES. Whoa! I have a feeling that's going to be where our agreement ends.
Yeah, yeah, maybe. So why did you put it on the E tier?
Because I do not think it is a bad game. It was very good for the time. Not that I was alive that time, but I'm pretty sure it was very good for the time.
Definitely not.
Otherwise, Mario wouldn't be as popular as he is.
Yeah,
But I also think that it doesn't hold up super well.
same. It hasn't aged well, and it's pretty hard. Like
It is a very
it's
difficult
hard,
game.
and like I don't know. Like I'm all for a challenge in Mario games, but like it's almost not really fun. Like how difficult some parts are, and it's like I can't remember what happens when you get a game over, but I remember it like being pretty unforgiving.
It Well, you go to the very beginning of the game, like
Yeah,
World 1-1.
and that's kind of lame.
It is kind of lame, but you know what? At least there are like those warp zones, so you can get to World 8 fairly quickly. It's still not.
This is true. Yeah, you can skip all those worlds, but it's like you didn't get the practice, so it's not going to go
Right.
that well.
Yeah, it's gonna be way easier to die still.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's a good game, but there are better ones.
Yes, I agree. Also, I didn't realize this until now. We do not have this game on the list, but Mario Bros. The Lost Levels I would put also in E tier or F tier if there was one.
Oof,
The
really?
lowest possible tier is where that game belongs, in my opinion, because that game freaking
Yeah.
sucks.
That's I guess that's fair.
I think that's probably the worst Mario game in my opinion. Not like I'm talking
Aim.
about like on a Nintendo console because, well, I guess there were like those like Mario's missing games, whatever. But
Yeah,
as far as mainline Mario games go,
that's fair. So, what is your D tier? What does that look like?
D tier. I have one game in D tier, and I think a lot of people are gonna get mad at me for this.
Huh?
It is Mario 64.
Oof. I that's fair. That is fair. Oh, what don't you like about that game?
Here's the thing. I love the DS version. If we were ranking handheld titles, DS would probably be an A or S tier. But the original Mario 64, like again, I think it was very good for its time, and it was a revolutionary game. But I don't think it holds up super well.
Yeah, that's fair. For me, the problem
What is
with
your
that
D
game
tier?
was like it was just the controls and the camera. Like that was
Yeah,
the big
that
problem.
was the biggest part for me.
It's the only problem really. Everything else was
I
fine.
think I honestly think the don't now this might sound stupid at first, but I think the visuals are really bad. And not I'm not saying like Mario it's himself. Like I know it's like really blocky and stuff, like that's expected for the first 3D Mario game. I'm talking about like just the vibe the art style gives off.
Mhm.
Cause like in the levels, like I they just don't feel like Mario to me, if that makes sense. Like the levels, they just seem like really generic. Like not all of them. Like Bob on Battlefield, Womp's Fortress, Cuckoo Mountain, and like Tiny Huge Island and Tall Tall Mountain, and I think all are
Mhm.
very Mario-y. But I
Yeah.
think the rest and the Bowser levels too. But I think the rest of them, they just don't feel like. I don't think they don't belong in a Mario game. I just don't think they. Um, I think they're just like a really generic kind. They're really generic levels that I think could work in almost any 3D platformer.
Mhm. And yeah, I understand that, but I don't think I think that's kind of unfair just because it was like Nintendo's first try at it, so I think they did good. It's like
Yeah, I
it's
think
almost like
again, I think it
does
was.
this work or what doesn't work? Very
Yeah, I
limited.
think it was good for the time. I'm just saying, like, as again, like, it doesn't hold up super well, especially in that instance for me.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's the game's fault necessarily.
Mhm.
It's just what time has, like, how time has, what
Yeah.
has changed, what kind of Mario games have changed through time.
Yeah.
I don't think it holds up super well when comparing it to the art style of the new ones. And
Mm.
honestly, like, I don't think our style's bad by any means. Like, I think it's iconic too, and I'm
Mm.
pretty sure it was like, I'm sure it was good for the time. I just don't think it holds up,
Yeah, that's fair.
and that's expected. But that's just still something I see. Like it doesn't bother me that much. But like I feel like, especially in the DS version, like the DS version proved it was definitely possible to make them look more Mario esque. I guess like Mario E,
Yeah.
because it's like in Jolly Roger Bay, for example, they added cheaps and stuff, and they just didn't have those in the original. I feel like they in like Dory in Hazy Maze Cave, or as I like to call it, Hazy Mazy Cavey. It like her I
Mm.
like her new design a lot better because just looks lot more Mario friendly, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair.
What's in
Well,
your D tier?
Super Mario 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I just
I can definitely see that. That
it
game is
was
not for everyone.
just it's kind of like the first one where it just like hasn't aged too well and like I don't know. It was like even though it was pretty unique, it was kind of forgettable in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because that was only the American version of it. Because like, I mean, I think it's better still than the the Lost Levels. But yeah, I do think that it can be forgettable just because one, it wasn't really an original game. It was a reskin of I think it was Doki Doki Panic. I think it was called, and yeah, it's just the second one, and it's really different.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can definitely see that.
Hmm. Yeah. not much to say about it. It's just kind of like the first one, I guess.
Yeah.
So, well, what is your C tier?
C tier. I have two games in C tier. Again, people might get mad at me for this. I have New Super Mario Bros. U and Super Mario Bros. 2.
That's fair. Well, why don't
Yeah.
you like you?
I really okay. I like you a lot. I just think it's really underwhelming.
Huh? Yeah.
I think I think the level design is quite good. I just think it really, out of all the new Super Mario Bros. Games, I think that's the one that. Well, no, not. I think that's the one that's most underwhelming. In
Mhm.
like, cause in like the case of new, I do like it better than New Super Mario Bros. 2,
Mhm.
but like New Super Mario Bros. 2, while it was like probably the most unoriginal Mario game I've ever played, it it like its purpose was coins, and I feel like that gave it its somewhat an identity. Mario Bros. U, it kind of like it did have stuff that made like separated it from the other New Super Mario Bros. Games, like the giant world map, like it all being connected, and the baby Yoshi's coming. Like I don't know if they came back. Were they in Yoshi? I can't remember if they were in any other game.
Mhm.
But with the baby Yoshis, it's just like you get the same kind of levels. And I feel like just maybe I think it's mostly because that was just the fourth new Super Mario Bros. Game. Because I feel like everyone was
Mhm.
kind of getting tired of the series at that point, especially like how samey the games felt at that point. I just feel like that kind of hurt it also.
Yeah.
But I do think it is an enjoyable game. But I wouldn't want to. I haven't bought it on the Switch, and I don't really intend to.
Yeah. That's fair. Yeah, I agree with all of that pretty much. Like most of
Yeah.
the new Super Mario Bros. Games are like they're really similar to each other, but I mean, like I've never like really thought that was such the biggest. Like I never thought that was a really big deal, just because like they're 2D Mario games. You don't need much from them. It's
Yeah.
you buy a game to play 2D Mario. So
Right. Yeah. I think they're all enjoyable. I don't think any of them are bad. I think they have great level design. It's just yeah. I think you can all kind of see it as one game because they're not super distinct from one another.
yeah.
Um, and I think that it's like I think Nintendo like was trying to because like with the DS entry that was the first return to like that was a return to 2D Mario and it was great. Like that was like it was a huge success. So then when they made Mario Bros. Wii, I think they wanted to kind of give the same sort of experience on the Wii without having to change too much. I feel like they just kept trying to do it with every console because they're like, oh, I don't want like what if they miss out on because they didn't play it on the Wii or whatever. Like what like I feel like
Mhm.
that was kind of where what their thinking was. I mean, I obviously I could be wrong. That's just speculation, but that's what I kind of thought because they kind of wanted to like. It's kind of like Splatoon, in my opinion. Like like Splatoon 1 and Splatoon 2 are pretty similar games. The only reason there's a second one is to so Splatoon itself exists on a new gen console. That's
Mhm.
how I feel like they treated the new Super Mario Bros. Series.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, pretty much. And for me, I have Super Mario 64, New Super Mario Bros. U, and Odyssey.
Okay.
So, and pretty much it's the same reasons for 64 and U. Like for 64,
Mm-hmm.
my only problems and biggest problems is how Mario moves and the camera. Like
Yeah.
if
Mm-hmm.
if he just controlled better and the camera was better, like the game would be like almost
All right, we are back. Sorry about that. Some
Zach's
Discord
computer
decided it
just
needed to
died.
update in the middle of the podcast.
Yep.
So that was fun. Anyway, you were talking about Mario. We were talking about Mario 64 and how
Uh,
you didn't like Mario's movement.
yeah, I'm just not
So
a
so continue that
yeah,
thought.
I'm just not a fan of how he like when you push the stick forward, he kind of like runs in place for a bit and then he starts moving. It's just like
Yeah.
problem because like there's so many times you have to be very precise and like there's just like these
Mm-hmm.
little areas where you need to jump onto and it's like and he's like super slippery and it's kind of like well, that's kind of weird because that's more of Luigi's thing. You know,
Yeah.
Luigi's always slippery or Yoshi's always slippery and like
Mm-hmm.
Mario's like sliding all over. And
Yeah. I don't like. Sorry, you can finish.
wow. Okay. Uh oh yeah, I was just gonna say, like it just makes the game a lot harder. with it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, it would still be challenging at parts, but it's just not that challenging. I mean, like, I don't know, it could have
Mm-hmm.
been done better. And with DS, it
I feel
was.
like yeah. I feel like the challenge in that game is that Mario's movement sucks and you have to figure it out, which shouldn't be the challenge. Like the levels themselves should be difficult, not dealing with the movement of the character.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah.
And yeah, it wasn't. It could have been done a lot better, like a lot better. But
Yeah.
uh, I don't know. It is what it is, I guess. Right?
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Is what it is.
Then my other game, which is this is super controversial. I just know it. With Odyssey being in C, it's mainly just because it was
Odyssey.
super fun. It's just it was not like it took me maybe like 6 hours or something like that to beat the main story. Like I just remember it taking like
Uh-huh.
really under a day. Like it was like, oh, that was it, and it's like, oh no, you can like really you can just collect these moons, and like to me it was like super grindy. It was it's not that fun to just kind of grind for like moons, and like the reward is not worth it in my opinion, and like
Yeah.
it could have just been more. Like some moons are like you just walk up to it, and some are like kind of hidden. And like the ones I liked were the ones where it's like you go into this like mini room with like a platforming challenge, and like that was fun.
Mm-hmm.
It was like most Odyssey is is a really easy game. Like I don't remember much challenge besides like the
Yeah.
moon part. All the boss battles were easy, except and then there's that boss rush. That was fun because that was pretty hard.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. And I wish there
Yeah.
was more. And that Luigi DLC is not worth it, even though it's free. But
You don't buy it. Yeah.
it's still not. It's I don't know. It's not.
It's
It's
kind
not
of lame for DLC. Yeah.
like Nintendo knows what we want with Luigi and Odyssey. We want to play as him, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Will I get
Yeah.
over it?
Well,
No. Life goes on.
life goes on. I think that I definitely see your point. Yeah, that's a big complaint. And I think the yeah, I feel like the main campaign could have been longer. It didn't really bother me necessarily because I knew I was going to keep playing after, but there are definitely a lot of people that like don't really want to go beyond that if they didn't enjoy the main campaign a ton, which I definitely get. And but for me, I like how the game at least was very original and
Mhm.
it wasn't super challenging, but I think the challenge comes with 100%ing it, and I some people like that, some people don't, and I personally am okay with it. I mean, I would have liked if there was a little bit more challenge in the main story, and but yeah, I mean, since I knew I was gonna 100% the game, I was definitely you're definitely challenged going to 100%. Like there's some really tough moons, but yeah, I see what you mean, and I feel like they the value of moons is like kind of weird in that game because like some like you said you just kind of talk to someone or you can go up to a hill and it's there, but some you have to do like some crazy challenges for, and I feel like they tried to fix that with the multi moons, but those are worth three, but those are really only with boss fights or
Yeah.
like big things like that.
Mhm.
So I think that if there was like I don't know, like if you didn't just get like the same value as like walking up a hill as like fighting, like doing this really hard parkour, you know.
Yeah.
But that didn't really bother me because, like I said, I was challenged and I knew I was gonna 100% it, so it didn't bother me. But I can definitely say that would bother other people.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I agree with that. And so, Zach, what is your B tier?
B tier. I have four games in B tier, and
Oh.
I think this could be controversial, but who knows? I have Super Mario Galaxy 2, Super Mario 3D World, New Super Mario Bros. Wii, and Super Mario Sunshine.
Okay.
B tier.
Yeah. That's pretty similar to mine. I have Galaxy 2 and Sunshine in mine.
Okay. Yeah, I think it'll be controversial because I'm sure a lot of people think Galaxy 2 is better, and but
Mhm.
I think I like Galaxy 1 better.
The first one is better.
Yes, it is, and it is a fact. Can't change my mind.
Yeah, it is. Well, what is your opinion on Galaxy 2?
I think it is a great game. I think it's a great sequel. My only issue with it is that it's like I think that it's I really like the inclusion of Yoshi. One, I do not like the hub world. I know that's not a huge deal. It's not. I just think the Comet Observatory was so great, and then when you go from that to like just a planet of Mario's head, it's kind of lame. But not that it's like it's. There's a lot more to do there though, but it's not as cool visually.
Yeah.
Um, and I think it's like that game is definitely a lot like it's a lot faster paced and a lot more difficult, and it's a lot more like obstacle course y, if that makes sense.
Mm.
Um, and I do like that a lot, but I feel like I just enjoy the style of Galaxy One more, like the gameplay style, and also with Galaxy Two, it's I don't the post game stuff is like I don't know if I like which one I like better between the both Galaxy games because the first one you just play the whole thing through Luigi and then play one level at the end. And that's kind of lame, but that's only for like players who are going to 100% it. Galaxy 2, it's a lot of filler with all the green stars. Like, that's just
Mm.
for filler, in my opinion. There's not really an extra. And then once you get all of them, you get one really hard level, which I like. I wish that you would get new levels. Um,
Mm.
like, if there were to be a Galaxy 3, my ideal post game would be you'd get more levels, and you could get more collectibles or something like that in like worlds you've already been to, but they're like optional. And once you collect all the like once you beat all the like the new levels, then you get one final really hard level. That
Yeah.
would be my ideal post game, I think.
Mm. That's
So
fair.
what are your thoughts on Galaxy 2?
Um, Pretty much all of that. Like, I don't know. I just prefer the first one. I think it's just more nostalgic. Um,
Right.
yeah, it's I don't know. And I also played it more, and I did play Galaxy 2, but it
Uh-huh.
just felt a lot of like the same thing. So, I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Even though it's kind of like a if it's not broke, don't fix it kind of thing, but it's kind of like I don't know. I prefer the hub part, like the observatory more. So it's just kind of like just I'm like I'll just keep playing that one. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's pretty much it.
I I agree with that. I think that like once you beat the main like once you 100% it with Mario in Galaxy 1, then you go to Galaxy 2 when you like, do the whole thing with Mario. Then you have to go back to every level just for green stars. And I know you have to go back with every level with Luigi in Galaxy 1, but
Mm.
that's only if you want to just like keep playing, you know. It's not required. Really, like the final level just like is kind of pointless, and I think that's okay when you're not really doing much to get to it. It's just for players like really want to who like playing as Luigi, you know, because if you don't want to do it, that doesn't matter, you know, like it's you're not
Yeah,
missing out on anything.
yeah, that's so true.
Yeah, but I do love Yoshi in Galaxy 2, and I do really like the level design in Galaxy 2. It has some really cool stuff, but I think I just prefer Galaxy 1 overall.
Mhm. Same.
All right, what else did you have in B tier? Do we both have Sunshine and Wii in B tier also?
I have Sunshine, but I don't have Wii in there.
Okay, okay, okay. Let's start with Sunshine then.
So what are your opinions on Sunshine?
I think it's Sunshine is definitely a mixed opinion. Like there's definitely some strong opinions on both sides of
Mhm.
Sunshine. Some consider it the worst 3D Mario. Not that it's bad. I don't think that many people say it's bad. I think people just consider it to be the worst 3D Mario. I think it is a great game. I just think it has some really low lows, but also some really high highs at the same time.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts on Sunshine?
I think it definitely has like a good challenge. There are definitely a lot of like
Mm-hmm.
pretty hard parts, and I kind of like that. Um, Sometimes I think it's like a bit much, and I also think
Yeah.
Sunshine is one of those Mario games where it's like if you didn't play it like when you were younger, like if you didn't grow up playing it, it's gonna be kind of hard to like kind of enjoy the game because
Yeah,
that's
you're
kind
not
of
gonna enjoy it as much.
yeah. And I don't know, it's just I don't know, it's like an okay game. I feel like it's a little overrated, but
Uh huh.
I don't know it. But I do like Flood. I do like that inclusion. That's good.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
It's yeah. It's just
I do like it better. Oh, sorry. Were you saying anything else?
No, I was not.
Okay. Um, I do like it better than the original Mario 64, just because Mario's movement in this game is like when you compare 64 to Sunshine, it's like like how much better it got is insane. I
Mm-hmm.
love the movement in Sunshine. I still do. I still think it's really good. And I feel like their issue with 64 was like with movement. You didn't have anything to like correct it. You kind of just had to precisely move. With Sunshine, it's still kind of like sloppy, I guess, just a little bit, but you can correct it so easily with Flood, so it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I like about it. And I also just love Flood as like just like the way you can use it. Like all the nozzles are really fun to use, and I really like the how original all the levels are, and I feel like they had to get really creative because they already had this like vacation beach theme, and they had to like come up with everything for it. So I think that made them think outside the box a little bit, and it really shows in how original the levels are. And I just think a lot of the not a lot, but I'd say like there are quite a few missions that are just unfair and they're dumb. Like it's just like
Yeah.
you just kind of have to get lucky. It's a challenge, but not in the good way. Like it's in the way that it's unfair,
Mm-hmm.
and like once you beat it, you're not even satisfied because you probably didn't even do anything differently. You just got lucky and was able to move the right way or something. Like that's how I feel with some of the harder missions.
Same. Yeah.
And it's also just a frustrating game overall. Like it's not. I don't know. Like there's just some stuff like for example when you're I don't remember what the level is called, but it's one shine where you have to like race with a blooper. If you crash the blooper, you die, and it's just
Mm-hmm.
like why can't you just go get a new one? Like because there are multiple ones to choose from at the start of the race, so why can't you just go get a new one if you crash it,
Yeah.
but you die? It's just like I don't know. I feel like that some of that stuff like that is unfair in my opinion, but I still think it's a good game overall.
That's fair. Yeah. I kind of agree. There's a lot of parts where it's just like because usually when you're doing a hard or a difficult challenge in a game, it's super satisfying when you beat it. But like in Sunshine, it was kind of like, oh, I wish I got lucky 3 hours ago when I first tried this.
Right.
Just sometimes it's not even reward is not really worth it most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, I agree.
and
What was your
you had Mario Wii.
Yeah, my Bros.
What,
Wii and B tier, and I also had 3D World and my Bros. Wii were my other ones in B tier.
so why did you have Wii?
It is my favorite of the new Super Mario Bros. Series. I will say that,
Same.
and I think that's just a lot of bias because I I played the Wii religiously, and that was my first console ever.
Same.
So I think that's part of it. And Mario Bros. Wii was one of the first games I ever played too. So I feel like that already just gives me a bias for it. But at the same time, there are a lot of reasons to like objectively like it. I guess if that makes sense, because you have Yoshi. This is Yoshi's appearance in the New Super Mario Bros. Series, first
Yeah.
appearance. You have 4-player co-op, which is a nightmare, but at the same time, it's really fun. Like it's like
Mhm.
comedic. It's like
Yeah.
if you're a serious gamer, that's not for you. But if you want to laugh with your friends, then that is some of the most fun you can have in a game.
Yeah.
I love the
This is
propeller
true.
suit.
Oh,
I
that's
love
my
the
favorite
penguin
Mario.
suit. I
My
love
favorite Mario suit, like ever. It's the propeller
the
one.
propeller.
Yep.
Yeah, it's such a good one. Like it's kind of broken, but at the same time, it's like so useful. And I don't think it breaks the game. I just think in
Oh,
certain situations, you're like, wow, if I didn't have the propeller suit, I would be so dead there.
yeah.
Stuff like that. So I also like how I think it kind of blends in a lot just because of like the Koopalings being in this one, and they're in every other one except for DS.
Mhm.
But I do like how this was their first appearance since I think Mario World. So that was like
Mhm.
over 10 years, and you get them back. So I thought that was really cool, and I think
Yeah.
the final Bowser fight is one of my favorite Bowser fights of all time. It's so good.
Same.
I
It's
think
really good.
it's not super hard, but it's like visually stunning, and it's super intense. Even if that's not playing that hard, like if you're just watching it, you're like just watching it like stresses me out almost. Like in a good way though, like in a way like I want to play that again because it's so fun.
Yeah, it's pretty
Um,
cinematic.
yeah, right. And I think that the level design is really good. And I like the power ups a lot, like I said. But I also think that it will blend in a lot to people who like just look at the game as a whole. But like for me, looking at it from a point like when it came out and how much I enjoyed it and like just how it kind of helps like relates to my gaming experience as a whole. Like it was one of the first games I ever played, so I
Yeah.
think that already creates a bias for it. But I also think there are a lot of reasons to think it's just good in general.
Mhm. I remember when I first played Wii, like it was like I think it was like my first Mario game that I like really played, and like really sucked at it. Like I was playing it
Yeah.
with just the one Wii remote like on the side, and like I was having
Yeah.
problems with like the first world and maybe in the first level. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but once I figured out that you could just use the nunchuck too, like I was like a god at the game pretty much. It was fun though. It was probably I think it was
Yeah.
also the first Mario game I beat. Um,
Yeah.
Never got to the special world though. So
I
sad.
got to it and I did not beat it.
This is so
I don't.
sad.
I've never beaten it. I don't think,
Mhm.
but I haven't tried it in a very long time.
Yeah. And what other game did you have? 3D World? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
If it is 3D World on the Wii U, I would put in B tier. If it was like 3D World and 3D World and Bowser's Fury, I'd probably put in. I don't know. It'd definitely be closer to A tier. I definitely like Bowser's Fury. Like that's one of my favorite Wii U ports right now. Is
Mhm.
3D World plus Bowser's Fury. Um, but yeah, I think 3D World is a great game. I just think it's like it doesn't have as much of an identity as the other 3D Mario games, in my
Mhm.
opinion. But not that the level design is great. I just think it's not super memorable.
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair. I think 3D World is super fun when you play with just one other person. Like it's harder. It
Mm-hmm.
can be a lot harder, but it's super fun. Super fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, like when they I don't know. And like especially with like that glitch or not a glitch, it's just that trick where you can get like almost infinite lives like
Exploit.
better.
Yeah.
And you don't have to worry about game over. So
Yeah.
it's
And honestly, I like that. I don't think it breaks the game in any way. I just think it's fun.
yeah. And then well, and then for me, I guess I because I had Galaxy and Sunshine, but then I also had Odyssey and World and Super Mario World. It's I don't know, like well, Super Mario Bros. 3 and Super Mario Bros. World. I put in I put those in B tier
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know, they're fun. I really liked them. I thought they were a lot better than 2 in the original one.
Yeah.
Because they just like the music, everything about those two games is super like um, just nostalgic. So I'm pretty biased about them. And
Right.
I don't think I ever beat either of them, but
Oh, really?
they're still fun. I'm sure I think I got pretty close. Like one of the final worlds, I just never actually beat the game, but
Uh huh.
they were fun. They were fun. They were pretty original too with like their ideas, I guess. Like when you see 3 or you see World, you're like, oh yeah, that's Super Mario World. I know that.
Right.
Yeah, it was like
What is your
is what
what's your entire B tier?
entire B tier, Galaxy 2, Sunshine, um, Mario Bros 3, and World.
Okay.
So that is my B tier.
All right.
What is your A tier, Zach? Three.
A tier. I have three games in my A tier. I have Super Mario Bros. 3, Super Mario World, and Super Mario Galaxy.
Oh,
What is your A tier?
Wii and Galaxy.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I do not disagree with you there. I think we and Galaxy are both great games.
Yeah.
Um, let's talk about 3 and World because after that we can talk about just Galaxy and then um, so Mario Bros. 3 and World. I these are like the two games that are like these are like kind of widely um, known as the best 2D Mario games.
Hmm.
And I think I agree. I think those both are great games. I do like both of those better than the entirety of the new Super Mario Bros. Series. But I also think they're both a bit overrated because I feel like I just feel like 3D Mario games are always going to be better than 2D. I don't think. I think just overall, I don't think 2D could be better than 3D when Mario games. Like obviously there are 2D Mario games that are like better than 3D. Like I like Mario Bros. 3 better than Mario 64,
Mhm.
but I think that
You're just super
they
limited.
yeah, and that's not a bad thing. Like some people like that. I
No,
just think
yeah,
to me, I will always prefer a 3D Mario game over a 2D one.
yeah, that's fair. That is fair.
Yeah. And okay, here's
Um,
the question. This is I have a question before we move on.
all right.
What do you think is better, Mario Bros. 3 or Mario World?
World.
I agree. I think a lot of people say Mario Bros. 3, but I think Mario World is better.
Mhm. That is fair.
So you can tell us how wrong we are in the comments, but our opinion is fact. So ha.
I got him.
All right. Anyway, what were you saying?
Just saying that world is better, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But yeah. And my A tier being Wii and Galaxy. It's
Uh huh.
mainly just nostalgia. Like
Right.
first couple Mario games. So at that, and we've already talked about them. So you already
Yeah.
know
We even talked a ton about We talked about Galaxy 2 and 1 as a whole, but what are some things you like specifically about Galaxy 1?
the power ups for sure. The power
Yeah.
ups. I don't think I have a favorite, but they were all really unique and yeah.
Yeah. I honestly don't think the power ups are anything special. I think they're good, but I don't think they're like breaking. I think honestly think in Galaxy 2, I really like the Cloud Flower. That's probably my favorite power up out of all the Galaxy games. But in Galaxy 1, the Spring Mushroom I thought was like it wasn't a useful power up. It was mostly just to, like change the pace of the game, which is okay. So it wasn't really like a power up that would be like, "Oh man, I can use that now." But um the I just feel like they're so I feel like the power ups themselves are good. They're just not utilized, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. Because the red star is a great power up, but it's only used in 2 levels,
Mhm.
and it's like it controls great, and it just like feels really good to pull off, but it's just not utilized that so much, and it makes me upset because if it was in more levels, I think I would love that. Like I would
Yeah.
love that game so much more.
That is fair. That is fair.
But I do like the bee suit a lot.
Oh yeah, that one is great. That one is great.
It is.
Well, Zach,
All right. Well,
what is your S tier? What is your favorite game of all time?
we each have one game in S tier, and for me, that is Super Mario Odyssey.
Hmm. Ah,
What is
amazing.
yours?
Everything you just said was wrong.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, for me, my favorite Mario game of all time is 3D World. Boom.
Wow. I did not expect that. I mean, I did because you told me every other game, but I didn't expect that going into this.
Yeah. Yeah,
Alrighty
it's
then. Well, we
just
kind of talked about both of
fun.
them, but I think we could both praise them just for the next
Yeah.
little bit.
Oh, what is so good about Odyssey?
I
Nothing.
think. Wow. Okay. I think that is Odyssey is my favorite game of all time, and I do think that like a game like Breath of the Wild is honestly I think Breath of the Wild is objectively better, but I think I just enjoy Odyssey more.
Huh?
Um, like but in my opinion, Odyssey is like I wouldn't say it's definitely not perfect because I don't think any game is perfect, but I think it's as close to perfect as a Mario game can get. For me because I've always wanted like more of a sandboxy Mario game, but with still like being faithful to the series. And I think
Yeah.
that's what Odyssey did, and I think it did it really well because I like how it's still level based, but each level is a world that you can get moons in no particular order.
Hmm.
But I still like how it's level based because that's what I think makes Mario. It's the fact that like it's like not saying like it's not a Mario game without it, but I think it's what that's like one of the biggest parts about Mario games is that it's level based, but what happens within those levels is can be different in any game. So that's what I like about it, and I like Cappy a lot. I like Mario's movement in Odyssey is my like probably my favorite Mario like
Mario. I guess like that's my favorite Mario move set because
Mm.
One, because of Cappy, it's really easy to correct jumps. You can get extra jumps, and it doesn't break the game. I like the capture mechanic. I do think it was underutilized a little bit. Um, Not that like I feel like you could like I just wish you could capture things and like you could play as them. Like I feel like there are captures that are really good, like Glide On, Yoshi, and Bowser. Those are some great captures, and I would like love just playing as those as long as I want. But those are kind of like the only ones that I feel like I can like have its own move set that I would enjoy playing long term.
Yeah.
And I think that the boss fights,
I think they're easy, but I love the concepts of them. I think if they were just a bit more challenging, I would like them a lot more. But I still love them. Like
Mm.
of the one in New York City when you're fighting, it's like Centipede, the arcade game. When you capture the tank,
Oh
I
yeah,
love
yeah.
that fight. Um, I do I do think that that final Bowser fight kind of sucks. It's not. It doesn't suck. It's just underwhelming. But I do. But like, it was really disappointing when I like played that verse. I was like, oh, that's the Bowser fight because it was just a slightly harder version of one you've already done. But
Mhm.
then when you capture Bowser and have to escape the moon, that was like the most joy I've ever experienced in a Mario game or
Yeah.
any game, I think. Because, but at the same time, like that's why I didn't really care about it because you had that awesome final sequence. But at the same time, I think I would have still liked it more if there was just a different, at least a different Bowser fight, even if it was still easy. I just think it should be different, and
Mhm.
then you can go to that final sequence. I don't think they needed to like have the same fight. It's like set your expectations low and then raise them again,
Mhm.
if that makes sense. Because I do like that concept of the Bowser fight. I did enjoy it, but like it just wasn't anything crazy. And if it was a different fight right before that final sequence, I think I would have liked it a little bit more. But I also don't care because that final sequence was amazing. And I also love the soundtrack. I do think Galaxy has the best soundtrack, but I think Odyssey is a close second because I like how it's you kind of got like I love the New Donk City music because like it's like really jazzy almost, and it's also like really fun to listen to. Just kind of, I think it fits the world perfect, like the overworld perfectly.
Mhm.
And then you got like soothing music like on the Moon Kingdom and Lake Kingdom, and then just some like that boss music I really like is that boss music is really good, in my opinion too. So
Yeah, it's fair. Yeah, I really
why
did.
is
I do
3D
like
World your
the
favorite?
Cappy. I do like the Cappy, like extra
Yeah.
jumps. That's like always use that like long jump, throw, jump. Like I use that
Yeah.
all. That's
Uh huh.
pretty much how I traverse the worlds. But
Mhm.
yeah, and for 3D World, like I don't know. It's just I feel like the game is definitely not easy. Like there and like I feel like the levels are. I feel like every single level is unique, and I feel like every world is not every like level is perfect, but there are a lot of perfect levels. I feel like I
Right.
just
Yeah.
could replay them all the time, just because they're
Mhm.
so fun and visually amazing.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
I think I think 3D World has great level design. I just think there's too many of them, and so it's kind of forgettable. I think that like there are too many like there's too many like just short levels, and there's a ton of them. I think that I would prefer if they did like less levels, but they're a lot longer because there's so many like levels in a world that are just like kind of the same kind of feel. I feel like if they just combined them all, then it would be a lot more memorable. Because
Mm.
I can't name you that many. Like I remember like Sprawling Savannah, Super Bell Hill, and that's like all like that's
Yeah.
only the names I can think of. I remember a lot of the boss fights. I do like the boss fights in that game a lot. I think they're really easy, but I just appreciate the fact that they're original.
Mhm.
Um, and some of them aren't easy. And that Bowser fight at the end, I think that's probably my favorite Bowser fight. Is 3D Worlds. It's
Yeah.
really good.
That one is really good. It's fun and it's cinematic and it's like wow, this is great.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Uh huh. Well, that is our ranking of the Mario games, and we still have time. So now we are going to talk about stuff that you
It's
want
super
from
secret.
us. Probably not though. Yeah, it's super secret. It's not gonna be secret anymore.
Oh
But
yeah. So Zach,
leave your rankings in the comments though.
so Zach,
Yes, Ellie.
what is your opinion on the first Falcon and the Winter Soldier show
I thought it
episode?
was good.
Yeah, I thought it was
I
good
thought
too.
it was good.
What was your favorite part?
When they cooked Falcon for dinner.
Same.
I'm
I
just
like
kidding.
that part too.
Probably I really like the stuff with Bucky. I thought was really good because like
Mhm.
you don't like he was always a Captain America. This is kind of my not my issue. This is just something I like about this show is
Mhm.
because for a lot of the MCU, actually the entirety of the MCU, Sam Wilson and Bucky Barnes were both just like Captain America characters, you know. Um, but now that Cap is gone, I think it's really cool how they're exploring like their personal lives and how like Bucky is s- struggling mentally because of being the Winter Soldier, and how Falcon and his family after the blip. I think it's really cool how it's already explored that, and I think that's what can make the show really good.
Yeah, same. Like, cause they were doing that too with Rhodey. Like, he was always an Iron Man character, but now he's like showing up in this show, and like he's
Yeah.
yeah, that's gonna be kind of cool. And now there's like that whole Armor Wars thing, and he's gonna have that
Uh
too.
huh.
So these characters that are just kind of like, oh, that's a Thor character. Well, now they're getting their own movie or something, you know?
I know it's. I really like that because I feel like it explores the characters a lot more, and you definitely start to care about them more. Because it's really easy to see like, like from Captain America 1 and Iron Man and like Incredible Hulk. Obviously, like they're all just in Thor. You know that only the main characters of that movie are gonna become Avengers. Like
Yeah.
Captain America's gonna be Avenger. Iron Man is. War Machine. He was, but like he wasn't initially,
Hmm.
and I think it's cool how they're exploring those characters more, even if they weren't Avengers,
Yeah.
and even if they were just side characters. I think it's really cool how because especially Bucky, because he was like more of a plot point than anything.
Mhm.
Not in a bad way. I still really liked his character beforehand, but I feel like the show can explore like how his life after becoming the Winter Soldier and how he struggles with that because he still remembers killing people. And Civil War explored this too, and that's what I really like about Civil War, is that it kind of shows how Bucky remembers killing Tony's parents, and then Tony freaks out and tries to kill Bucky, and but like Bucky remembers that happening. So I think it's like
Yeah.
I think it's a cool moment there because it shows how Bucky is like he doesn't really know what to do.
Hmm. And that he actually feels bad about doing it,
Right.
even though it wasn't actually him.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. And like, I'm pretty excited about the U.S. agent finally seeing him, John Walker.
Oh boy.
Because I wonder, because like, I don't know. It's like I'm pretty sure everyone watching, like everyone who's watching that episode, like I'm pretty sure all because Sam Wilson's heart has to have been broken when he saw that on TV, and then like all of our hearts just broke too at that same moment we saw
Yeah.
someone else take on the mantle of Captain America.
Right.
It's just yeah, it's something else. Like I
I
would
know.
want to die.
Yeah. And I feel like Sam will definitely take that blame because he's the one who gave up the shield when Steve gave it to him.
Mhm. And but I think we all know he's gonna like get it back. It's just
Well, yeah.
you know, but yeah, I'm excited. I am excited.
Yes, me too.
The show has a lot of potential, and
Yeah, for sure.
uh, yep.
Well,
Another show
yep.
I've been watching is best show ever called iCarly.
That is a good show.
It
It's a
is
very good show.
amazing. Um, what are your opinions on the first 3 seasons? I guess
I grew up watching iCarly when I was a very little boy. And
yesterday.
I loved it. Shut up. And I still love it, and I still find it very entertaining. Same thing
Mm.
with Victorious and Drake and Josh and shows like that.
Yep, it so good. Like
Um,
well, who's your favorite character?
um, Gibby until like Gibby in the later seasons because when Gibby becomes a main character, Gibby, but before
Mhm.
that probably Freddy. No, definitely Spencer actually, because Spencer's just so
You
funny.
can call me Ghibli. Yeah, I've always liked Gibby in the whole like in the entire show. Like he definitely got like less weird, but not really.
Right.
Like I don't know. It's always been funny because like he's not
He's still
he's
weird enough to where you think he's funny.
yeah, like he doesn't take his shirt off anymore, or he's not like he doesn't just say like oh I don't know. Like he does still say random stuff, but it's not as much. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
He's still funny. Like he has some good moments, like when he fights Nora. That's a
Yeah.
great one. And Guppy is a great character too.
Yes.
And I really like how they actually got Ethan Monk to play Noah
Right. Yeah.
Monk,
It's
the
actual
character's
brother.
brother. Yeah, and
I like that.
yep, that's pretty cool. Yeah, and I think I would also say Spencer's probably like tied with Gibby, or he's number two for my favorite
Uh
character.
huh. Yeah.
I
I feel
think
like he
my
carried the comedy on that show.
yeah he did, and I'm pretty sure my least favorite like main character is probably it's tied between Sam and Carly, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah. I think mine's probably Carly. I like Sam as a character. I just feel like she kind of got like more. She was also always kind of like just like sassy, and it was funny because like how she like bullied Freddy. But I feel like in the later seasons, it got like she like physically bullied Freddy, and I don't think that was as funny
Mhm.
because like that just doesn't make sense because like
Mhm.
Freddy's like bigger than her. Like I just don't
Yeah,
understand like
like
how.
he actually looks like he's strong. Like I don't know.
Like he like becomes a lot more built in the later seasons, I guess if that makes sense. Like he looks a lot stronger in the later
Yeah.
seasons. So it's not as funny when she bullies him because it's not as realistic. And
Mm.
he like gets hit really easily. Like when he gets hit by a pillow, he goes like flying off the seat. It's like super weird.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
and like whenever Sam like teased him about like I don't know like how he's like a nerd or something, he would be like he'd be like super dramatic, be like, "Oh my god, she's so mean to me," and I'm like, "Bro, moment." Like I don't know, like I have friends.
Bro moment.
I have like friends. Yeah, I have like friends, and like we'll tease each other, but it's like probably worse than what Sam does. But like what Sam does
Yeah.
isn't actually mean. It's like I'm like okay, Fredward. But
Yeah.
sometimes
Like
Sam
he
does get
just
on
is
my
kind of a wimp.
nerves. Like sometimes Freddy will be like
Same.
explaining something, and then Sam will be like, "Oh my god, why are you talking? I want you to like die." And I'm like, he's literally he's literally just talking. But
Yeah. Sam is kind of like it kind of gets more frustrating in later seasons, but I think that I just don't like how she only does it to Freddy. Like, I mean, she like in the earlier seasons, like I said, she does it a lot, like just to like random kids. Really only doesn't do it to like Carly
Mhm.
and Spencer, but I feel like Freddy being the target of all of it, and Freddy like almost never getting back at her in the later seasons is what's frustrating. Like, because I love it in the earlier seasons when Sam like gives Freddy bad luck or whatever, but
Mhm.
then he like tricks her with that guy meeting at the mall. I thought that was like a really good moment for Freddy,
that was amazing.
but like I love that, but that's like the only time they did that, and it's really annoying because I prefer it as more of a rivalry than like Sam just like beating up Freddy or like harassing him all the time. It's just like
And if you
it's
remember, like Freddy got back at her once when he handcuffed her to Gibby, but like
and then she like
she
went
basically
crazy
scared him.
after that.
Yeah, she like pretty much scared him, like where he was like afraid to do anything outside of his house.
I know, yeah,
That was kind of uh,
I know,
like,
yeah,
and even in this wasn't in like season three. This was like season four. Like,
uh
um,
huh.
they like remember when all three of them had like child labor to get penny teas. Like I thought that was like super.
Oh
Like
yeah,
I was like, what Sam was doing was wrong, but like I mean, Carly and Freddie were still having like kids do work.
yeah. It's like they didn't portray them super well either. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. It was that was just, I didn't really like that episode overall. I feel like in the later like I say like from seasons like 4 to 6,
Mhm.
a lot of episodes are kind of like hit or miss. Like there's a couple episodes it's just like they obviously had no idea what to do. They just needed to pad runtime, so they just added like that one episode where it's like I find Spencer friends. I did not like that episode because it was just like
Oh yeah.
it was just so random. I didn't like, and like the waiter like doing stuff to the chili fries or whatever, and then Gibby in the bathroom. Like Gibby in the bathroom was funny, like him like working or whatever, and then singing. But
Yeah.
then like, and then that like who was the actress?
Oh, Emma Stone.
At the
Like
end of
I
it?
really liked.
Was it
I
Emma
thought.
Stone?
Yeah, I thought that was really funny. Like I
It
really
was
liked
just so
her.
random though. It
Yeah.
just like I just didn't understand why they just only did it to like,
Get a celebrity in the show, you know.
Mhm. Well, maybe, but the one where they found Spencer friends, like I thought it was. I feel like they made him a lot weirder than he usually is.
yeah.
Like he's weird, but he's still like a normal. He's a pretty normal guy. He's not.
He's
He's
a
not
man
bad.
child, but he's a normal person. Like he's a responsible adult, but
He
he's
knows
also
how
a
to
man
act
child.
around other adults, except that one time.
Yeah.
It was like,
Uh-huh.
what are they doing to my boy Spencer? It was
Yeah, like
super
and
hard
at
to
the beginning of the episode, like when they had the kid playing tennis with the kid,
Mhm.
like I feel like they in that episode they really tried to portray Spencer only as friends like way younger than him, but I don't. They really, like that was like never really a thing. Like he hangs out because Carly's his sister. And he always helps her with Icarly. That's the only reason he's with them a lot. I feel like,
Mhm.
and he always has dates, and he always like he has like Tebow and Sako, and like
Yeah, well,
I just
because
don't think
most
that like
adults don't actually have that many like like they'll have friends, but it's like most of the time they're not hanging out with friends just because they have other stuff they need to do. Like, because Spencer's job was
Yeah.
sculpting. That's how he earned money.
yeah, and so he has a lot of free time.
Yeah. And then when he
So, yeah,
does,
I
he
just feel
hangs
like
out with
that was
Sako or he'll talk with Tebow.
Yeah.
So,
It was just I don't know.
It was just a weird episode.
yeah, and like we've talked about this before, but like when Freddie was 14 and he didn't have a kiss and that was supposally
Yeah,
super weird. Like it
like
makes me
that's not
cringe.
even embarrassing.
No, like
I know. I feel like like.
because like a lot of people still don't have a kiss when they're like until like they're college. And I'm
30.
like, yeah, and like okay, oh no, and like I don't know, it's kind of cringy. Like they're 14, and when they were talking about stories about when they had their first kiss, it's almost like they're talking about like this was like years ago. I'm like, it'd
I
be, like,
know it's so weird. Like
12.
it had to have been like in the last 2 years at the very most.
Yeah, and most
so
12-year-olds
weird.
don't have kisses. I'm like, God, why?
Yeah, it's just like I don't know. I feel like because like that show is for like kids, and I
Mhm.
feel like them being like 14 was like really old to like that was like really old to me as like a
Yeah.
5 or 6 year old.
Now it's like 14 is like a baby.
Yeah, now it's like you're 14. What a loser! Like I could freaking curb stomp you or
Yeah.
something. Like I just like it's just like and then like thinking of like a 14-year-old not kissing someone. I'm like that is like really normal. Like if you were to kiss someone at 14 for the first time, I think that's
I think you're like way ahead of your game.
quick. Yeah. It's like when all the kids make fun of Freddie for not kissing him at 14. I'm like, I bet none of these kids have kissed anyone.
Yeah. So and that's what Sam said on Icarly.
Yeah, but it's like she said it like it was an embarrassing thing,
Mhm.
and it's not.
Like what also bothers me is like how the internet works in that show. Like that's just not like I don't know. Like I do like how like when they see negative comments, they don't like let that kind of get to them. It's like when most of the comments are negative, then that's when it's a problem. Like
Yeah.
they're pretty negative comments. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But like whenever someone's like, "Oh, I did not like that on iCarly," like, and then you just hear like people in the background like, "I'm never watching iCarly again," and okay, like, oh no,
What? It
5
was super
viewers.
weird.
Yeah, and like,
I know. Like they had like 1 million viewers or whatever. It's just like what?
yeah, and like, it was just kind of weird, and also that apartment that they live in is like, that has to be super expensive in Seattle, like a big city like that.
Yeah.
Like-
yeah.
It's definitely their dad who pays for it, but
Look, yeah.
I don't know.
You know what I found funny about their dad?
Hmm.
in the earlier seasons they talk about how he's in the Navy, and then in the later seasons he's in the Air Force. Like,
Oh
and they
yeah,
never
yeah.
mention it. Like, I feel like they just forgot what branch of the military he was in.
Like, he was literally in a sub. Like
Yeah,
I don't
and
think
like
there's
they say
subs in
that.
the sky.
Maybe one day,
Maybe one day.
but I don't know why there would be.
I don't know why
I
you
don't know. It
call
was
that.
really weird. Yeah.
It's just kind of is really weird, but I do like there's a lot of continuity errors in that show, but there's
I
also
know.
like
Yeah.
a lot of continuity in the show too. Like I do like how they bring stuff back, like Fenton Benson, or
Yeah.
stuff like that. Because like Victorious does not have any continuity in it at all.
Yeah. That's my
Like one
biggest
ep-
problem with Victorious is it's too
yeah,
episodic.
like one
It doesn't tell
episode,
the
like
story.
Jade is like super nice and like she loves Tori or whatever, but then the next episode she's
Like
like,
they make friends.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
the next episode she's like completely like hating on Tori, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what? Don't you remember what you just did?
iCarly
I don't know.
definitely. Yeah. iCarly definitely had more of a story, and I like that more. The only like big story thing in Victorious is when Beck and Jade break up, but then they get back together. But then like
Yeah.
they don't even mention that much that they're broken up. Like only like the episode after and the episode where they get back together is really when it's a
I
big deal.
always forget that they're actually broken up because like they act the
Yeah.
exact same. Like they still
I know,
stand,
especially
they're still like near each other. I'm like, okay,
yeah, like especially on Victorious, like on Netflix when they break up, like there are still episodes where they say they're dating. I think that's Netflix's fault because they don't put the episodes in order. But like,
Hmm.
it just makes it like super weird. It's just like, did they even break
yeah.
up? Like,
Well, I think my biggest problem with iCarly's continuity is like one episode, Freddy is in like a cast with like his leg and like his arm,
mm-hmm,
and the next episode
mm-hmm.
it has to jump. It has to have jumped like 6 months or something, and like I don't know. And Freddie had like that conversation with Carly where it's like, oh, maybe when I'm done, maybe we can get back together. But it's like, I guess not.
Yeah,
You're gonna choose
you just kind
Sam.
of have to assume that they didn't get that nothing happened.
Yeah.
But that's like the only big thing. That's like the only big continuity problem I had with iCarly was like when they didn't like. I didn't really care that much if Freddie wasn't in the cast, but
That
I thought it would just. I thought it was just. I just wish they'd like because that was such a cool like it was such an original idea. It's like Carly's in love with Freddie, but she just thinks she is because he saved her life, and so that like and all the tables turn now. Freddie doesn't want to date her because he doesn't want to just be dating someone who's like in love with what he did. I thought that was like a really cool idea, but then they only do it for one episode, and I feel like I don't think that's like I just think that because in other episodes, like when Freddie and Sam kiss, like a little while later, that's when and then Carly finds out. Like it's not like they couldn't do more with that.
yeah.
It's just they just chose not to in the case of I saved your life.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. But and also with like Neville, like they had that whole I pitying the Neville episode, and I really liked that one.
Yeah.
We see
Uh-huh.
him, he does something. I can't remember what it was, but like he was like,
He runs in the wheelchair guy runs into him and then he yells at him and they get it on video.
but then there's another episode later in the show where like he's mean to them because like there's like he does that costume thing to Freddy, and I can't
Oh
remember why.
yeah, and then he
He
gets
just,
mad at them.
yeah,
He just wanted to get back at them again.
but why? I thought they were all friends now. I guess not.
Well, no, they actually talk about that in the episode. So when they fix Neville, he like the guy in the wheelchair runs into him, and then he yells at him. They get on video again, and then it goes viral again, and then Neville gets hated on again. But and then that costume episode, when they find out it's Neville, they get mad at him, because Neville gets mad at them because he's like, "You tried to help me and it didn't work." And they're like, "It's not our fault. You're the guy when you yelled at the guy in the wheelchair." Then that's all they say though. Like they just kind of like use that line so it doesn't like act like nothing happened.
Yeah.
But I feel like I just don't understand like why. I feel like that was just kind of a lazy excuse for them to like be able to have a rivalry with Neville again. Because I feel like could have been cool if there was another episode, or maybe it was in that episode, or I don't know, something where another thing actually happens, like with the iCarly gang, and not just something that happened to Neville and then he gets mad at them for that, Because the whole reason Neville gets mad at them in the first place is because Carly sticks the dip into his face, and he doesn't. He like she refuses to kiss him or whatever.
Yeah.
That's why that whole thing starts.
Rue the day.
Yeah. Rue the day.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I think what else? Man, I don't know if I even have a favorite episode. There are so many.
I know. I like the one. I like the one with Griffin. The I Date a Bad Boy. I thought that was really good.
Yeah,
It was really funny. The Pee Wee Baby thing was so funny too. Like
yeah.
that was probably the funniest episode of iCarly.
And like I was like, yeah, I don't think you should be with Griffin. But then like when Griffin was like, um, he had that Pee Wee Baby collection, I was like, don't fuck with him just because of that. Like what?
I know,
I feel
yeah,
like that's,
but
like,
it was just so funny.
I feel like that's super shallow of Carly.
Right, yeah, I thought it was really Carly was like she like didn't care when they got like when they broke up, like which was kind of stupid, but I just thought that episode was just so funny.
It was pretty good.
And then I love how happy like cuz I like that episode a lot cuz it's a win for Freddie too because you think cuz it's so funny
Oh,
that this
dude.
bad boy that is dating Carly that he doesn't like is collecting Pee-wee babies.
I love that scene. When Freddie finds out the problem with Griffin, like he starts laughing so hard. Like
Yeah.
oh,
It's like you really feel for Freddie in that moment. It's so funny.
yeah, that's really good. Freddie is pretty great.
Yeah, he is.
Uh, let's see. I do like like there are a lot of things where it's like um iCarly and like Sam and Freddie should be like in prison almost like that
Yeah.
Peon Carl thing. Like I'm
Yeah,
sure
I know.
people got like people could have died. Like I'm sure there
I
had to be
know.
like at least
Yeah.
close death. Like there's like 10 car crashes and I'm like how are they
I thought
not
that was just a
in prison?
traffic jam.
Like, well there are definitely car crashes. Like that's what
Okay, I thought it was just a traffic jam.
there are definitely like a million car crashes. I'm like, okay, someone's definitely dead. Um,
Yeah.
the lawsuits, it's like,
Well, at least Spencer went to law school for 3 days.
yeah, it's true. And like you in the sweatshop, pretty much the child labor, like
Yeah.
it's pretty against the law. But I don't know. The kids were happy, I guess.
Yeah.
They have good
Mm.
stuff. And the iWeb Awards when they went to Japan. What
Yeah.
award show has like people go to the award show to compete to get the award?
Yeah,
That's
it's like if you go to the Oscars and they all have to do a scene like before
oh, yeah,
to
yeah.
get the award.
Yeah, like that always kind of like I was like, what is the point? Like,
It wasn't a competition; it was an award ceremony, but then they made it both.
yeah, it was kind of weird. It was, and like there's like a cooking. There's like that lady cooking. I was like, okay, well, how is what? Like I get a cooking web show, but like, how are you going to compete? Is there food judges? Is this chopped now or something? Like I don't get it. Please
Yeah.
explain.
When iCarly gets chopped.
You were on the chopping block. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird. And then you had, I did like the Shelby Marks. That was good.
Yeah.
About, and then I feel like there are good episodes, like I don't know what it's called, but like when it's like super hot and like is in their apartment because it's cool. Like
Yeah.
that one was on TV all the time when I was younger, so I feel like I saw it so much. I'm just kind of tired of it now, even though it's been like.
Yeah.
But
Uh-huh.
that was a good one.
Yeah.
Sir, I have angina. I don't think that's so.
When temperatures rise, the elderly die, or something like that.
Yeah. And Carly had that huge project for school. I have never had a project anything big like that. Like
Yeah.
that's always a thing I feel like
Yeah, that was weird.
they got wrong with like people like whenever you had to have like work with a partner and they had to go to their house or they come to your house, like that never happens.
I never had to do
Never
that.
ever.
Yeah, I've never done that.
Seems kind of weird
It's always in class.
Yeah.
because like it's almost like unfair to have that like be a thing.
Yeah.
Like
Well, anyway. Yeah, and I think that Beat the Heat episode, it's like
that one girl, I forget what her name is, like that Gibby's cousin or whatever, who's like really tall. She's not even that tall, but you
But
see her like when you look at her feet, she's wearing these gigantic heels,
yeah, yeah, exactly.
and that's the only thing that makes her that tall. It's like super weird.
Yeah, yeah. She's not. I can't remember how tall she was, but I don't think she was like that tall compared to like Spencer,
I
who's
think
like
she,
6 feet.
yeah, Spencer. I think Jared Trainer's 6'2" or something like that, and I don't know how tall that girl was. I'm pretty sure like
Yeah.
but I have no idea how tall she was, but she was only very tall because she looked a lot older than them, and they were still teenagers. So they were probably still growing, and she was like wearing these huge heels. It was really funny though.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I feel like there's like a lot of problems, but it's mainly just because it's like it's not really
It's a kid show.
realistic. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
it's my life, so
it is mine too. So we're kids, basically.
Are-
We are A minors.
and like I don't know. I still have problems with like how do people find their website? How do they advertise?
I know, like I don't, and how do they like like? I think there's an episode where they talk about how Spencer just pays for the website. Like my parents would not do that.
I know.
They would not pay for a website that I just want. You know, like, I mean, maybe.
Dude,
And Spencer can't
have
make
to-
that much money. He can't be making that much money off his sculptures.
Well, I think it's his dad who's putting like money into his card too. But it's like
Yeah.
why do most websites have a subscription fee? I thought it was like you pay for the website and that's it. Like remember
it was a
Sam had a
subscription to,
website,
like, keep the
sampuckett.com, and she was like, I sold my
She
website
had it for like
for $1,000.
she had like the domain for multiple years, or I think. Like
Yeah.
it's like, how did you pay for that?
Yeah. I don't know. It's just it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But
But anyway, I know how we talked a lot about negatives about that show. We both love that show to death, so don't interpret that wrong.
yeah, it's the best. It's probably the second best Nickelodeon live action TV show.
What do you think is the best,
Drake
Drake
and
and Josh?
Yep.
Yeah, I agree.
And then the third best is
I
Victorious.
say Victorious is third. Yeah. And then there's Big Time Rush was pretty good. I like Big Time Rush.
Oh yeah, they are from Minnesota.
Yeah, that's your home state.
Yep. No, it's not. Don't come find me.
I mean, no, he lives in the Netherlands.
Live in Oregon. Yep. With Crash and Bernstein.
That show was so bad.
Oh, I
hated
remember.
that show.
I remember liking it, but I was like, oh, this is not like it's not like a. I knew it was like not the best show, but I remember enjoying it.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're running out of time here, so we're gonna have to end this podcast right
Yep.
here.
We'll see you next
So-
time on iCarly.
Yes. This has been iCarly. Well, thank you guys for watching. Leave us your rankings of the Mario games in the comments below. Tell us how wrong we are, and tell us how wrong we are about iCarly and Falcon and Winter Soldier. So yeah, that is it, gamers. We will see you next time.
See you later.